Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The headlines. Senate to investigate alleged funding of Boko Haram by United States Agency for International Development's USAID. Another assurance from federal government indicates no Nigerian child will be out of school. And House of Representatives probes Osun violence that led to many deaths. Let's begin at the State House, where it is being said that no Nigerian child will be out of school, no matter his or her social status. And this commitment is coming from the Tinubu presidency. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance during the presentation of digital learning devices to students of Government Science Secondary School, Piakasa, Abuja, by MTN Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
The center that unifies all.
A symbolic presentation of 4,600 tablets distributed to secondary school students across the nation's 6 geopolitical zones by MTN Nigeria. For Vice President Kashim Shettima, the remarkable gesture is not just an act of corporate social responsibility, but an investment in the intellectual capital of the nation and a testament to MTN's commitment to the progress of Nigeria.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has asked that I express his immense gratitude to the leadership of MTN Nigeria Communications PLC for this incredible act of generosity. We thank you for supporting the efforts of this administration by investing in the digital literacy of our students. These devices will ensure that our children are as equipped as their counterparts across the world to function effectively in a technology-driven 21st century.
He called for more private sector partnership in investing in the nation's education system, which is crucial to the success of providing quality education for the Nigerian child.
As policymakers, it is our duty to complement the efforts with sound policies and increase budgetary allocations to education. Let us remember that the future of Nigeria lies in the classrooms of today. Every child, regardless of their socio-economic background, deserves access to quality education.
These tablets are far more than just learning devices. They represent our commitment to empowering the next generation with the essential tools they need to thrive in an increasing digital world.
It is a gateway to knowledge, innovation, and limitless opportunities. With these tablets, our students will not only improve their digital literacy, but also enhance their research capabilities, coding skills, and overall academic performance.
This event marked a significant milestone in advancing digital learning and literacy across Nigeria and making digital inclusion a reality for every Nigerian student. In Abuja, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Towards enhancing academic excellence, the Bayero University alumni has initiated an endowment to complement the provision of infrastructure in their alma mater. To this end, the Vice-Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano, Professor Sajia Adamu Abbas, has inaugurated an endowment committee under the chairmanship of the former Controller of Immigration, Mohammed Babandidi. Binta Adamu reports.
The endowment, which targets the generation of 1 billion naira, is aimed at giving back to the university in appreciation to its impact on character and learning to the alma mater. The fund will serve as an investment to enhance research, infrastructure development, scholarships, and other academic activities.
Is it the role of this committee we are about to inaugurate to mobilize resources, to create awareness about the significance of endowment, fostering the culture of giving among scholars.
Chairman of the Endowment Committee, Mohammed Babande, pledged to ensure transparency and accountability, as well as sustainability for future development.
We'll do our best, the best we have never done before, because endowment will live after us.
Some of us who have this faith felt that, what can you do to give back to this institution, no matter how little? Now we started thinking, oh, this university had an endowment fund, this one has one, but Bayero University does not have. Why wouldn't we?
The committee is expected to also spearhead engagement with stakeholders and ensure the effective utilization of the funds generated. Binta Adamu, NTA News.
Let's go to the National Assembly now, where the Senate has resolved to invite heads of security and intelligence agencies for a closed-door meeting as it seeks a briefing on alleged funding of Boko Haram by the United States Agency for International Development's USAID. The resolution was sequel to a motion from Senator Alim Dume and 8 others from Borno, Yobe, Bauchi and Ogun states. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has details.
The allegation was tied to the alarm raised by the Defense Headquarters that Boko Haram insurgents were being trained by some international organizations. Lawmakers were circumspect in their contributions during debate on the matter, owing to the fact that it touched on security and diplomacy. But reference was made to a viral video of a United States congressman who, while at the inaugural hearing of the Department of Government Efficiency, alleged that USAID has been funding terrorist organizations across the world.
Over the years, the modus operandi of Boko Haram in Nigeria has been a source of great concern, as their source of funding and operations have been shrouded in mystery.
Numerous attempts to investigate on the funding of these terrorists and bandits did not yield the much desired result.
The effort of our security agencies that stopped them, they will have occupied the entire country. We saw hell.
It is important in a plenary like this. It is almost impossible to do justice to the issues raised on this motion.
The Senate should immediately invite the National Security Advisor, the Director General of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, the Director General of the DSS, the Director General of the DIA, to brief the Senate in a closed session on the veracity or otherwise of these very serious allegations.
The briefing will hold soon on a convenient date. Bill to establish special agro-economic zones was among 5 that passed first reading. Senate has honored the late Pa Edwin Clark, who died this week Monday, in response to a motion from Senator Thomas Onuwapo during plenary.
He was an amazing man who contributed immensely to his immediate community, his own nations, and the country in general.
Meanwhile, President of the Senate received in audience a delegation of the PANDEF, where the call to immortalize the late elder statesman resonated.
And we just said, I love Nigeria, I love Nigeria, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian. He said I'm a Nigerian twice, I love Nigeria twice. And the next thing, we stopped talking. We rushed, the nurse rushed at him, and he did not speak again. We took him to the hospital, and after some hours, the doctor said he had gone.
In another development, the Benue State Caucus at the National Assembly has asked the State Assembly to rescind decisions on the removal of the Benue State Chief Judge and suspension of some state lawmakers, describing the actions as unconstitutional.
That some section of the Benue State House of Assembly, numbering about 17 of the 31 members sitting, purportedly resolved to remove the state chief judge in flagrant violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The caucus has resolved to petition the National Judicial Council and the National Assembly for intervention. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria Richard Mills Jr. says the U.S. government stands with Nigeria in its quest to completely eliminate remnants of insurgents terrorizing parts of the country. This was after a closed-door session with members of the Nigeria Governors Forum in Abuja. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It was the first physical meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum in the year 2025, and the need to interact with the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria on burning issues of international concern dominated discussions during a closed-door session at the NGF Secretariat, and it is time to brief the media on the outcome of the deliberations that lasted several hours, and Nigeria-U.S. relationship and the earlier allegations against U.S. intervention body United States Agency for International Development, USAID, on Boko Haram sponsorship was brought to the front burner.
Or have policies and procedures in place to ensure that USAID funding, any of our assistance funding, whether it comes from USAID, the Department of Defense, the State Department, is not diverted to a terrorist group like Boko Haram. There's absolutely no evidence that I have seen that that has occurred. And certainly if we ever had evidence presented to us that a program funding was being diverted to Boko Haram, we would immediately investigate, along with our Nigerian partners.
U.S. government pledged to assist Nigeria in improving economy, health, education, social well-being, as well as fighting corruption to a standstill.
The new administration has put in a 90-day pause on our assistance. No assistance has been cut yet. No decisions have been made about the future of our assistance. In fact, Secretary Rubio has said, this is not about ending foreign assistance to our partners and friends like Nigeria. It's about how to make the assistance more effective and how to make sure that it aligns with U.S. government policies and interests.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, however, did not speak to journalists after the meeting, but there are strong indications that the outcome of the deliberations will be made known during the Council of State meeting scheduled for Thursday this week at the State House. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's return to the National Assembly. The House of Representatives has mandated an ad hoc committee to get to the bottom of reported violence in local government area secretariats in Osun State this week, which led to some deaths. At Wednesday's plenary, the House also asked the Inspector General of Police to intervene and nip the crisis in the bud. National Assembly correspondent Mitairi Ikmen reports.
Adopting a motion of urgent national importance by 9 lawmakers, the House is concerned that reports of violence in Osun State over conflicting interpretation of court judgment on local government officials leave much to be desired.
Lawmakers emphasized that security agencies should restore normalcy before things get out of hand.
The present situation in Osun State may snowball into a free-for-all unless urgent actions are taken by relevant authorities. The preventable violence which happened in Osun State has led to the death of 6 persons, while scores of others have suffered severe injuries and presently receiving treatment in various hospitals.
On the need to investigate the crisis in Osun State, Honorable Idris Ahmed Wase, who serve as the chairman of the committee, they have 1 week to report back to the House.
Frequent road accidents along some highways in the country were highlighted in another motion with calls for preventive measures.
Within 2025 alone, over 10 accidents has occurred on Lokoja and Atako-Filili Expressway. All the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Works, to expedite an expansion of the road.
The slow pace of the construction of the Bida-Suleja road, in spite of an alternative funding source through the Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, has contributed hugely to the indiscriminate parking of tankers along major roads on the route, thereby worsening traffic congestion and increasing the risk of accident.
Other resolutions sought additional mandate secretaries for the FCT administration, as well as inclusion of Ndokwa Ukwani Federal Constituency in the Presidential Amnesty Programme.
Concerned at the exclusion of Ndokwa Ukwani Federal Constituency from the Amnesty Programme is causing growing frustration among local population. To urge the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to appoint 6 additional secretaries to enhance good governance, effective service delivery within the Federal Capital Territory.
A bill to repeal and reenact the National Assembly Service Act 2025 scaled second reading. The House observed a minute silence in honor of late elder statesman Edwin Clark, extolling his selfless services to the Nigerian nation and the development of the Niger Delta region. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Up ahead. Trucks carrying over 60,000 litres of petrol will no longer ply Nigerians' roads. Details shortly.
The Nigeria Agribusiness Group cordially invites all stakeholders in agribusiness and the public to the Presidential Roundtable on Agribusiness with the theme Driving Agribusiness Transformation, Policies, Partnerships and Prosperity. Date, Friday 21st February 2025. Venue, Transcorp Hilton Congress Hall, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of Nigeria. Guest of honor, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President of Nigeria. Host, Senator Abubakar Kyari, Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. Architect Kabir Ibrahim, President, Nigeria Agribusiness Group. Chief Host, Barrister Nyesom Wike, Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. For more inquiry, please call the number showing on your screen. Organizing Committee Announcer.
Welcome back. Now, from the 1st of March 2025, trucks carrying over 60,000 litres of petrol will not be allowed to ply Nigerian roads. Executive Director, Distribution Systems, Storage, Retailing Infrastructure of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Ogbugo Ukoha, reeled out this and other industry concerns at a press briefing in Abuja. Lydia Sampson reports.
The very sight of petrol tankers on the roads laden with volatile petrol is a reminder of what can happen in case of an accident. This is worsened by the massive volume of products being carted around. Mitigation of truck in transit accident is at the core of the regulatory framework issued by the NMDPRA. He decried a situation where people stormed social media platforms with unverified claims of what he called selfish and untrue market strategies on products' quality.
We've also historically watched in marketing. People will have their own marketing strategies and how they involve in this. But like I've said, anybody who thinks they can mislead the innocent Nigerian is actually being disrespectful. Because as long as I'm concerned, Nigerians are hardworking and are quite discerning. You and I drive your cars. You have your generators at home. You have your cooking, and you can tell whether what anybody is saying is factual or not. As a responsive regulator, we will put out with transparency the information that is available to us. Indeed, the regulatory oversight we do will even avoid being too specific, because there are confidentiality issues also involved in relation to the data that the PIA requires us to keep.
He emphasized that NMDPRA, as a regulator, complies with the PIA specification of petroleum products, and therefore no product is distributed in Nigeria without a duly accredited certification. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Well, joining me live here in the studio to talk more on this development is the CEO of Captree, And he is Olabode Shonwi III. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering physics from the Obafemi Awolowo University. And he has also done research on characteristics, compounds, semiconductors, and analysis in use of materials used in flow mechanics. You're very welcome to the news.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
All right. Why, in your view, has this become necessary at this time?
Okay, well, I mean, we're all part of Nigeria, and one way or the other, you probably have seen some things on social media, heard comments from relatives or neighbors and all that. So I think in a combination of general thoughtfulness in terms of handling what is generally snowballing into a free-for-all in terms of lack of restraint, they have decided to put some checks and balances. That's my interpretation of the steps that have been taken in terms of ensuring that Nigeria still remains governable, it still remains a country with law and order, still remains a place where actions have consequences. So the regulator is spot on in terms of being proactive for the work.
All right. Following this directive, where will these trucks now ply the roads, and what are the international standards in this regard?
Okay, so when it comes to vehicular traffic and when it comes to road movement and all that, that's basically a transportation issue. But what I do know is that aside from the major expressways, there are alternative routes which are not, I mean, they're basically old roads, but they are still, and they may be in different states of disrepair along some routes, but there are still places that you can take and get to your destination. So it is my understanding that those are the routes that these trucks will be taking at this time. So their journeys basically will be longer.
All right. And just lastly, what will be the overall impact once this decision is made? Well, it has been made, but what will be the impact on the industry?
Well, in terms of the impact on the industry, it's not going to be that significant. In terms of the impact to Nigerians, there should be a marked difference. I think one of the things is that it is expected that there will be reduction in the accidents used to, I mean, in the earlier report, even at the National Assembly level, there was a motion of urgent national importance with respect to the kind of accidents we'll be having. We're expecting that to reduce. We're also expecting the roads to last a bit longer, which is also positive news for everyone. So in general, it's supposed to increase the quality of our life as human beings.
We certainly expect that to be the case, and we certainly appreciate you for coming in to further enlighten us and talk to us about these developments. Thank you, the Olabode Shonwi III, CEO of Captree. Many thanks for your perspectives.
Thank you very much.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has been commended for entrusting the Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, into its chief executive, Gbenga Komolafe, whose leadership has been described as exemplary. The Renewed Hope Ambassadors Network, RHAN, praises Komolafe's tireless efforts in driving reforms in the petroleum industry in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. According to RHAN's assessment report, the NUPRC has made significant strides in implementing the PIA, which has led to improved operational effectiveness, reduced misconduct, and increased revenue generation for the government. The report highlighted the Commission's effort in streamlining regulatory processes, enhancing transparency, and promoting a more investment-friendly environment, thereby consolidating on the strong commitment to regulatory excellence, innovation, and transparency.
We in the Renewed Hope Ambassadors Network have duly observed since the enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act PIA in 2021, and Nigeria's oil and gas sector has experienced significant structural and regulatory reforms with the goal of enhancing investor appeal, efficiency, and transparency.
More than ever before, it is time to pull down barriers and create spaces for inclusion where no one is left behind. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this in her message marking this year's International Day of Social Justice. She calls on Nigerians to work together to bridge gaps and ensure that every citizen, especially those from marginalized communities, is empowered to succeed in life. Reflecting on the theme, empowering inclusion, bridging gaps for social justice, the First Lady affirms her commitment to a Nigeria where every citizen, regardless of gender, ethnicity, or socio-economic background, has an equal opportunity to thrive, while noting that the day offers another opportunity to reflect on the progress made and acknowledge the challenges that remain in the journey towards social justice. She expresses optimism that together Nigerians can build a future where everyone can freely contribute to the growth of the nation. And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis.